We're going away. Get your bag, check the tag. Decision is made. Lock your door, need no more. It's already paid. Cancel your meal for a while. It's a journey for life, and I'm your ride. Hang on.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another meal prep video. In today's video, I'm going to be making a very filling breakfast and lunch. For breakfast prep, I'm going to be making breakfast scramble. I'm going to be just pairing this with a side of cauliflower. Yes, cauliflower for breakfast. For lunch, it's going to be pesto chicken with vegetables. I'm going to be using tomato pesto rather than basil pesto. This week, I just have one DIY dinner kit to put together and then my snacks. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kristi. I'm currently following the WW Personal Points program, but I do provide calories on my channel as well. I would love to have you as part of the family by clicking the subscribe button. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell because that's what notifies you anytime that I upload new content. I do a weekly meal prep, but it's really just for 3 days. I'm making 6 breakfasts, 6 lunches, 3 for me, 3 for my husband. We just do Monday through Wednesday. I don't like to really meal prep too far out beyond that. And then Thursday and Friday, we just do something different. Also, all the recipes that I share will be linked down in the description box below, as well as any of the items I use, like my meal prep containers and things like that. And finally, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like these type of videos. So now let's get into this video. For breakfast this week, I'm doing a breakfast scramble. I thought about doing my chicken sausage breakfast bowl, but then I decided I wanted something a little different. So this is what I came up with. So at the time that I'm doing this video, I just kind of jotted everything down. I don't have these out on my website yet, but by the time you see this, I will. So this is what I plan on putting in this. This is going to be, for me, it came out to 6 points. I do count my eggs, so keep that in mind. So it's very possible that if your turkey breast, your eggs, and your potatoes are 0, this could be a 0-point breakfast. And then it's coming out to 313 calories. So for this one, I'm going to use onion, cauliflower, bell peppers. I have 18 ounces of potatoes that I'm going to cut up. And then 2 teaspoons of olive oil that I'm going to put on the tray. So the vegetables and the potatoes are going to go in the oven. I've got my oven preheating to 425 right now. And then I'm also going to need 12 eggs and then a pound of turkey breast that I'm actually going to put a bunch of spices in so I can kind of make it taste a little bit like sausage. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just cut up all my produce. So I'm cutting up 1 zucchini and then also my little red peppers. You could just use a regular size red pepper if you want. I just had the mini ones. And then also my onion and my potato. This is about 18 ounces of potato that I'm cutting up. So just dice them up into small pieces. So I'm going to be putting all the vegetables and the potatoes on a baking sheet. So I have a baking sheet that I've put some aluminum foil down and sprayed it with some cooking spray. And now I'm just mixing all the vegetables and the potatoes together. If you have any big ones, just go ahead and cut those so they're kind of all uniform in size. I'm also going to be adding some Himalayan pink salt and some black pepper to these. And then one other thing that I'm going to add to it is some everything bagel seasoning that's completely optional. You can use whatever seasonings you want on this, but I love that on there. And then I'm drizzling it with some olive oil and then just kind of massage that all together so everything's all mixed together. And then on this tray, I've got, again, foil down and I've sprayed it with some cooking spray and I just break up my cauliflower. Again, season that the exact same way that I did with the potatoes and vegetables. And then both of these trays are going to go in a 425-degree oven for about 30 minutes. In the meantime, over medium heat on my stove, I have a skillet sprayed with cooking spray. I've got 1 pound of turkey breast in there. I'm going to season that to make it kind of like a pork flavor. So I have some paprika, some parsley, some minced onion, some garlic powder, some Italian seasoning, and red pepper flakes. And I just kind of just pour a little bit in. I would say maybe like a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of each of them. And then just cook that up until it's done cooking. Then in the meantime, in my red bowl here, I have a little bit of water, about a 1/4 cup of water. To that, I'm going to add my 12 eggs. I like using water instead of milk. I don't know, for me, it just they come out fluffier. So I'm just going to whisk those together until they're all the way whisked through. So now my turkey breast is about done, so I'm just going to transfer this into a bowl, and then I'm just going to wipe my skillet clean, and that way I'm going to use that for the eggs. I did let the skillet cool down just a little bit though, so that the eggs don't cook too fast. So to the eggs, I'm going to add some Himalayan pink salt and some pepper, and then just give those a good whisk. I like to just kind of keep lifting the pan off of the stove while I'm cooking it, then set it back down. It just really makes them nice and fluffy. Once those are cooked, I'm going to add the turkey breast to that and stir that around. And then in the meantime, I'm going to check on my vegetables. So I usually flip them about halfway for each of them. I'll do both the cauliflower and also the other tray of vegetables and the potatoes. It's okay if they get a little bit browned. That's completely up to you how much you want to cook them. So now I'm just going through and portioning everything out onto the meal prep containers, and I'm just using these 2 compartments. Actually, I have a couple 3 compartments back there that I'm using. So just portion them out, even amounts of the vegetables, the potato mixture, and then the egg and turkey mixture. And then if you want to, when you heat them through the week, you certainly can mix them all together if you prefer. I actually liked them like this with the cauliflower on the side. It was really good this way. I usually put them in the microwave for up to probably about a minute, stirring them halfway, about the 30-second mark. And that is going to be an excellent breakfast this week. So again, for me, for points, it's going to be 6 points. If you're counting calories, 313 calories. And I believe this is going to be a really filling breakfast.
It's a journey for life and I'm your ride. Hang on. We'll be
For lunch this week, I'm going to be doing pesto chicken with vegetables. I don't even have this recipe up yet. By the time you see this, I'll have it up on my website. But as of right now, I've just kind of taken my chicken scratch and threw some things together. So for this one, the way that I'm doing it, the points for me with my chicken breast being 0 points, it's going to be 4 points, but then I'm going to earn back a point from the vegetables. The calories are 250 calories, 30 grams of protein. So the recipe is just going to be built with the pesto chicken with vegetables. And then it's up to you if you want to put in some rice, if you want to put in some cannellini beans. The cannellini beans you could just toss right in there. I think I'm going to do some rice on the side and then I can kind of mix it together. So the points and calories are without the rice. I'll add that after. So very quickly, all I have for this is a bunch of vegetables that I need to use up. I put on there about 2 cups of broccoli. Here I have actually probably about 3. And then my other 2 zucchini that, again, I really need to get those used up. And then I have a couple Roma tomatoes in there and some sweet peppers. So I'm just going to wash those. I'm just going to let those soak for a little bit in some water and vinegar. I'm also going to be using an onion. I also have some fresh Parmesan cheese here. I love using fresh Parmesan, just grating it myself. So I'm going to do about a 1/2 cup. This is going to make enough for 6. And then over here I wanted a 1/2 cup of the sun-dried tomato pesto, but I didn't quite have a 1/2 cup. So I'm thinking I might just toss in a little bit of basil pesto as well. And then over here I have my spinach. This is already washed. I keep my spinach in this. When I buy it, I just wash it right away and then I put it in here. I've shown these containers. I love these containers. They keep the fruits and vegetables so fresh. So I'm going to be putting in probably about 2 to 3 cups of spinach. And finally my chicken. My chicken is already cooked. So I have here some chicken breast tenderloins. They're just the kind that come frozen in a bag. I just toss them in my Instant Pot. I put about a cup of chicken stock in the bottom. Just throw the frozen chicken in there. Then I pressure cooked it on high for about 6 minutes and then let it naturally release for about 9. And that is how they come out. So you have to be careful though, because it almost comes out shredded and I really don't want to shred this up. So I think keeping it in my fridge overnight might have helped. So you want about 1.5 pounds of chicken. I think I have a little bit more than 1.5. I probably have maybe 1 3/4 here, but chicken breast for me is 0. So I don't have to be as exact with it. So the reason that's already cooked is because I cooked it last night for dinner. I actually got this inspiration for lunch from a dinner that I made last night, and I'm going to work on a video for that. And that was for pesto chicken and pasta. I used the Banza chickpea pasta for this, and some spinach and the sun-dried tomato pesto and the chicken, of course, and this was so good. We loved this. And then I did a little bit of Parmesan over the top. So I'm working on a video for that. I'm not sure whether it will already be up by the time you see this video. My videos, I usually just kind of film a whole bunch at once and then I just get them up as I can. So I did this one last night and then now I'm doing the meal prep. So I'm not sure which one I'll have up first. So all I really have to do is cook the vegetables. So I'm going to get these washed up. 4 parts water to 1 part white vinegar is what I use to soak them and wash them. And then I'm just going to put them in a wok on my stove and just cook them that way. Now once the vegetables are all cut up, now I'm just going to have my spinach and chicken in that side, and then I'm going to do my vegetables in this one. So I'm going to give these each just a light spray with cooking spray, and then I'm going to just add a little bit of, instead of using olive oil, I'm just going to add a little bit of the oil from the pesto. So in my big wok, I mean this is a huge wok, I have this on high heat right now. I just wanted to get it really hot to put those vegetables in, and I'm just going to saute the vegetables. I did end up, you probably saw I did end up cutting up some garlic, so I'm going to add that in at the end. I'm going to get my spinach cooking in this pan, and then I'm just going to add the tomatoes and the chicken to it. All right, I don't know when my camera stopped, but what I did is sprayed these pans, both of these, with some cooking spray. And then I took some of the juice from the pesto or some of the oil, and I just put a little bit in each pan, and that way I don't have to add any additional points or calories for olive oil, but you certainly can do that. So then I just added my onion, peppers, zucchini, and broccoli, and I'm just gonna let that saute. And then over in this pan, I'm gonna add my spinach, so 2 to 3 cups of spinach, however much you want to add. I'm also going to add some Himalayan salt to both the spinach and the vegetables. Some black pepper. Then I'm going to add some ground turmeric. I just really like this for the anti-inflammatory benefits. And then to these vegetables, I'm going to add some everything bagel seasoning. And I'm going to add the tomato. Got a couple peppers on there, that's okay. And you just want to cook it until the spinach is wilted. So now I've turned the heat down on the spinach, and now I'm just going to take my chicken and just cut it into small pieces and throw that in the pan. And like I said, I've got my heat on low on that now because I really don't want to overcook this chicken since it's already cooked. And again, I have my burner on low since this is already cooked, and I really don't need to heat it through because I'm going to be putting it in meal prep containers anyway. In the meantime, keep an eye on the vegetables. Make sure you just keep kind of stirring them up. Now take that pesto and just add it right in there. Mix that all together. And then once the vegetables are cooked, we're just going to mix that right in with the vegetables. Okay, I've got my vegetables turned down now. And I just tried one. Like I said, we don't want them to be mushy. And we got to keep in mind that you don't want to cook them all the way through because you're going to be reheating those. And honestly, you don't even really have to cook them all that much. Just for me personally, I have to have most of my vegetables really cooked. Now I'm going to take that garlic that I cut up and I'm just going to add that right in there, and I'm going to let that cook for about 30 seconds or a minute till it's fragrant. I always add my garlic last because if you cook garlic too long, it can really have a burnt flavor to it. Now we're going to add in that chicken. And then, like I said, if you want to use cannellini beans, you could have added those right in with the vegetables. Just mix that all together. It'd be easier if I just use a spoon. Oh, it smells so good. All right, I'm gonna shut the burner off and I'm just gonna set that aside. I'm gonna take it off the burner and let it cool down for a little bit before I put it in the meal prep containers. So now I'm just gonna use my little shredder that I got from QVC. Absolutely love this thing. And I've got a cup here, but I'm just gonna do a half a cup. All right, so that's all I'm gonna shred of that. So one thing I didn't end up doing is adding the basil pesto. I just felt like I really didn't need it with how much was in there. So I'm just gonna leave that out. I think we had plenty enough. All right, so for my rice, I'm gonna use this ready rice. I planned on doing just some long grain rice in the Instant Pot, but that's all I have left. So I'm gonna just use this ready rice, and I think I don't really even need to cook it because it's microwave ready and only takes 90 seconds in the microwave. So I think when I heat them throughout the week, that'll be enough to cook these. For this, if you notice on these, the serving size says 1 pouch. I could never eat a whole pouch of this, so I usually do about a half a cup. So for the calories on a cup is 210. So for the half a cup, it's going to be 105 calories. And then for the half a cup of this, if you're counting points, is 3 points. So completely up to you if you want to use that or if you want to put something else. So let me get these all dished up in my meal prep containers. So I'm going to use a 1/4 just so it'll fit in the bag. And I'm going to fill it a little bit less, that way I know I'm not getting too much. If you want to get exact, you can weigh these out. And finally, I'm just going to add the Parmesan. So you can leave this out if you prefer. Totally up to you. And I'm not even going to use that all because if you remember, I actually had a little bit over half a cup in there. So I'll just save that, set that aside. So you can mix this all together. You don't have to leave it separate if you don't want. I just did it this way so we have a choice. And then also, if you, like I said, you can use some type of beans like cannellini beans or black beans, whatever you want. So versatile. Add the vegetables you want. You can do whatever you want with this and make it your own.
It's a journey for life and I'm your ride. Hang on, we'll be long gone.
Okay, time for dinner kits. So you may notice today I'm doing some as a voiceover and some live because it's football Sunday and my husband is in and out watching football. So I only have one dinner kit to do this week. If you're new to my channel, this is what I do, and I'll link down below a more detailed video on how I do my dinner kits and some little tips and things like that. So I'm only doing one this week. One night we're going to be doing turkey tacos. I'm going to use the same turkey meat that I used for the breakfast. I'm going to use that because that came in a 2-pound package and I only needed 1 pound. And then the rest of the week, we're just going to kind of do just really light things like maybe sandwiches, soup and sandwiches for dinner, because that breakfast and lunch, we really feel like that's going to fill us. It's just got so much in it that I think we're really not going to be that hungry for dinner. So this is what I have for the one kit. This is crispy pork chops with asparagus and a side salad. This recipe is a Skinny Taste recipe. I'll link her recipe down below. As with all the other recipes you see here and the items that I'm using, I always link those down in the description box. So for my personal points, the pork chops are 7 and the calories are 378, and then whatever you use for the asparagus and the side salad. I also have some carrots in there. I have this huge bag of whole carrots, so I've got those in there, and I'm also going to be having carrots for snacks this week. I've been really enjoying that. So I'm just putting the carrots down in the bottom, and then I'm going to take some asparagus. I'm going to toss that in there. All right, so I just cut the ends off. If you're not going to have this like within the next day or so, I do not recommend putting the asparagus in the bag because they don't stay in the kits too long. So I think that's all I'm going to put. And then I'm not going to put the salad stuff in there. I don't like to, I'm using romaine lettuce, and I like to keep that in my vegetable container. So I'm going to keep that in there. So the side salad I won't put in here. And then I just have my pork chops. This is sealed pretty good, but I've really been just kind of laying the meat on top of the kits in my fridge. For the picture, I put it in there, but then I just kind of lay it like that, just in case for some reason it leaks. And then in here is the topping for, this is an air fryer recipe, so this is the topping for that. Like I said, I'll put the recipe down below, but it's a mixture of Parmesan, breadcrumbs, a little bit of cornflakes, and then a bunch of seasonings. So I'm gonna stick that in there, and then I think that's okay for now. Just for the purpose of the picture at the end, then I'll take those out. So that's all I do for my dinner kits, and like I said, just one this week. Okay, now I'm moving on to snacks. So for snacks this week, I'm gonna be peeling some carrots and putting them in this container here. These containers are the greatest things. They have a little thing in here that you can use to separate it. One day I did fruit, and I think I did like strawberries on one side and blueberries on the other. For today, I'm going to take that out, and I'm just going to wash my carrots right in it, and then just pull that out and keep them in there. And then the lid, if you're doing fruit, you keep it open, and if you have vegetables, you close it. And it stays really good. I showed in my, I think it was a what I eat in a day video that I did. I showed my spinach in one of those that I had in there for 13 days, and it was still so crispy. So carrots, I'm also going to be doing apples and PB2. Just cut up some apples, mix it in with some PB2 powder. I don't use water, just put the powder in there. I'm going to be having those. I'm also right now weighing out some pretzels. My husband wanted to have some pretzel snacks for him. I've been doing really good, really trying to focus on not having the refined carbs for my snacks. And I find that it's been making me feel a lot better. So I'm going to weigh him out an ounce of pretzels, which is 3 points or 110 calories. All right, so that's it for those. Finally, I've got these cashews that I got from Sam's Club. I'm going to weigh these out as well. So I'm going to do like 6 portions with an ounce in it each. So 1 ounce is 28 grams. I think it pretty much fills this whole thing. There we go. Walnuts and cashews are one thing that I try and weigh exactly because I can overeat on these very easily. So for these cashews, 1 ounce is 6 points. It's a 6-point snack. And then it's 160 calories. So sometimes I'll just have like half of it at once. All right, that's it for those. I'm gonna leave the tops off for now just because I like to kind of show the end picture. I really don't like to show my main picture at the end with all the lids on everything because you can't see what's in it. So I just put all the lids on it after I'm done with meal prep. So last thing I'm gonna do is peel my carrots and just toss them in here. So there are my carrots. And that is going to be it for my snacks this week. And here's what we ended up with. And also, I forgot, I do have some light string cheese that we may have occasionally. And I also have some bananas here that need to get used up, and also some avocado. So I'll probably be doing something with those this week too. So there we have the snacks and the breakfast, the lunches, and my one dinner kit. So here's a little bit of bonus footage. I get asked a lot how big my fridge is to fit all my meal prep stuff in here. So I'm just showing I have a regular side-by-side refrigerator. So I just kind of stack everything in there, have my little trays in my drawer for my cheese and all that stuff. Sometimes I feel like I'm playing Tetris moving things around, but I make it work. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you in my next one.
It's a journey.